The following is a conversation with His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on the 14th of May, 1975, in Perth, Australia.
First of all, you have to understand what is the basic principle of civilization. What do you want to fulfill? What is the goal? There are different species of life, beginning from aquatics, fishes and animals in the water. Then as the water dries up, then vegetation comes. In this way, there is evolution from aquatics to vegetable life, then moving insects, reptiles, then gradually birds. From insect, the flies come out, and then flies gradually comes to bird. From birds to beast, four-legged. Then from beast to human being. Then human being, the aborigines, uncivilized. Then you come to civilized life, which is generally known as Aryan life. So, the Aryan civilization, Vedic civilization. In this way, we get this human form of life, develop consciousness. Now, we should try to understand what I am. Am I this body or something else? That is the subject matter of inquiry. So where is that department of knowledge?
Where do we fit in? Do you mean, where do we fit in?
Yes.
The organisation that I work for, the government that I work for, is of course very, very different, no doubt, to philosophies, to all of you, and you, for example. We work within, however, a situation where we are concerned that within the framework of Australia's society, which involves people, private enterprise, industry, increasing population, all of these placing demands on what naturally is Australia, what you were talking about to begin with. The evolution of the birds, the animals. Of course, we have a magnificent and unique and diverse fauna and flora. These we must try to protect and preserve. We can't improve agricultural production, we can't improve forests, we can't improve recreational opportunities in forest lands around cities if we don't consider sympathetically, thoughtfully and scientifically the natural resources of Australia. So it's interesting that you mentioned to begin with in the evolution, say, of the evolutionary cycle in Australia, mentioned the Aborigines. The Aborigines were in fact far better at maintaining and conserving the Central Australian landscapes, the Central Australian arid regions, than any Australians since European colonisation. The Aborigines lived in almost perfect harmony with their environment for 30,000 years, 30 to 40,000 recorded years. That's how far our research can take us back. Whereas in a little over 100 years, European man in Australia has done in places irreparable damage.
The Aborigines, they are growing that food. The Aborigines.
Oh no! The Aborigines grew nothing really. They were nomadic. They were mostly meat eaters and insect eaters. There are, for example, one of the staples of the Aborigines was a very very thick and very fat grub called a witchetty grub, which lived in the roots of certain low bushes. And these tear the bush over, and these fat grubs would appear, which would be eaten live, eaten raw.
Without cooking?
Yeah.
No cooking.
Simply...
No cooking. Immediately. Wriggling. The fresher the better. They used to eat small furry animals, bandicoots, wombats, but they used to occasionally pound the grass seeds from a few species of arid zone grasses and make a kind of an unleavened bread from it, which they would then bake. But generally the Aborigines were nomadic, they were shifting, and they didn't cultivate. They didn't till the soil, ever.
You find out this verse, Annad Bhavanti Bhutani.
All living bodies subsist on food grains, which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by the performance of yajna, sacrifice, and yajna is born of prescribed duties.
So, the only remedy is that you should perform yajna. If you don't perform yajna, then nature will restrict supply and put so many impediments. The yajnat bhavati pajjana. If you regularly perform yajna, then there will be sufficient rainfall. There is sufficient water. It's all around. There is water. There is no scarcity of water. But you cannot touch it without God's intervention. The same water will be converted into cloud and will be distributed on the land, and the water again glide down to the reservoir of water. This is nature's way. But if you do not perform yajna, this machine will not work. To get water from the sea, convert into cloud, and then distribute. This is very restricted.
But we must all perform yajna? We must all perform yajna?
Yes, we have to perform yajna. And that yajna at the present moment is very easy. Sankirtanai yajnai. It is recommended that we have to recognize the authority of the Lord, and in this age, simply by performing Sankirtan yajna, he will be satisfied. Sankirtan yajna means to glorify the Lord in so many ways. We glorify the Lord, His form, His activities, His name, His quality. So it is not difficult job. We can sit together, family-wise, community-wise, or in office, in factory. We can sit down together and glorify the Lord. This is a very difficult job.
You make it sound very, very simple, of course. And
yes, why don't you accept it?
Well, I, for one, might.
No, I'm not talking about you.
No, sure, certainly. But imagine the man, as we have to consider, the men, the thousands of them, on their tractors, at their bulldozers, hacking down natural forest. Sorry, the point I'm making is that there are so many people in Australia who would have no time. They are too busy making money. They are too busy doing what
And
they
what will you do with money? If there is no grain, then will you eat money?
Certainly not.
That is foolishness. That is foolishness. Money is not required. Required food grains.
But unfortunately, of course, increasingly now in our society, there is an increasing ability to produce food almost artificially, and this happens more and more.
Where is the scarcity? Why you are complaining there is scarcity of water? Why you are complaining scarcity? If there is enough food, then why you are complaining about scarcity?
Well, I complain because I am a geographer, because I am working with an eye to the future, with an eye to a long-term situation where I can see that
your problem and my problem is not different. You are thinking, I am not thinking, it may be. But you require food grain, I require food grain, the animals require food grain, and everyone requires food grain. So if there is sufficient food grain, then everyone will be happy.
Yes, now perhaps. How about in 50 years' time then? How about in 50 or 100 years' time?
But you are complaining about scarcity of water.
Yes, sure, but also, sorry, I don't mean, and perhaps I didn't explain myself well enough. I do not mean to address myself only to a problem which is here with us right now. Perth, for example, right now, this city does not have a scarcity. There's plenty of water around. 70%, in fact, of the water which is delivered to domestic homes every summer is put on gardens to make them green. It's not used for growing vegetables. It's not used for human consumption or human existence, for supporting human life. It's used for making lawns, such as outside this house, for making lawns and trees green, so that houses will be attractive and the property values will go up. Once again, it's the money ethic. It's the money situation. It's what our society exists on. It's what makes it all go round. But what I am worried about is the situation in 100 years' time. There isn't a scarcity now, although the water is becoming less and less acceptable, where by taking down the forests we're letting more water seep into the soil. It's unlocking the salt that's been in the soil for thousands of years, and so on. That's our problem. It's long term and it's complex. I'm worried about generations to come. Not now.
If there is rainfall sufficiently, that water is distilled water, pure water. See, if pure water is distributed all over the country.
It's pure when it hits the ground, but it isn't, unfortunately, when it comes out into the streams.
Rainwater is pure water.
Sure.
So, when it touches the ground, it may become impure. It doesn't matter. But the water is pure. Pure water comes down from the rain. It is utilized. That water must be there. That is the first problem. Therefore here it is said, Parjanyat Annasama. You must have sufficient water. Water is already there. But it has to be purified, kept on the top of the hill, water tank, and it will come down in rivers, then you take and utilize. And when the water falls down, when there is sufficient water, the ground becomes green, so it is no more polluted.
Do you know how much it's a very complex thing. In the hills outside Perth, there are...
This is the general plan, that you must have sufficient water. And that water must fall down from the cloud. Not by your system you pump out water from the sea and utilize. That is...
sure, we can't do that.
Yes.
We can't do that.
Therefore, you must have pure water. And that water is manufactured or supplied through God's mercy, not your mercy.
Certainly not, and I wouldn't presume to suggest in any way that was the case. What our problem is, though, is that because
so
of
that problem solved if you perform sacrifice. That is the verse. Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyat annasambha. And janjat bhavati parjanya jagga karma samudho. Very simple formula. If we follow this formula, that first of all, if we want regular water supply, that we want, not that if we want, we must have regular water supply. So, that is possible by performing yoga. Yoga means to satisfy the supreme law. That is yoga. The yoga karma samudbhavam. Karma means your activities. Whatever you are doing, that is karma. You are working as geographer. And another man is working in the factory or somewhere else. Everyone is working. So, by working, the aim should be how to perform yoga. That should be it. Suppose you are a geographer and I am a religious preacher and he is a cultivator, he is a factory man, he is a motor car driver. So that is all right. But if we sit down together and perform yoga, simplify, glorifying the Lord, where is the loss in your part or my part or his part? Where is the loss? Suppose, as a geographer, you sit down. As a religious preacher, I sit down. As a motor car driver, he sits down. As a factory worker, he sits down. And perform yoga. Yoga means to chant the holy name of the Lord. Where is the difficulty?
I wish it were as simple as that for the majority of the people.
Everyone. Even the child can take part. Even the child, poor man, educated, non-educated, rich man, poor man, worker, everyone can sit down and chant Hare Krishna mantra. So why don't you accept this formula?
How do you know that I haven't? But how about the people living next door or the people...
No, they can form several groups. You can form your group. Suppose there are 100 gentlemen in this neighborhood. We can sit down. If he has no time, they can sit down with family members. Everyone has got family. Everyone has got his wife, children, or somebody else, servant. Sit down for half an hour and chant Hare Krishna. Very difficult.
No difficulty at all. But it doesn't happen, does it?
But you have to introduce. That is our movement.
Sure, yes, I can see that. But why aren't people doing it? Why aren't more people in Perth, in this city? Why aren't more doing it? I'll tell you one reason, and it is because
the people should be educated that if you do not perform this yoga, you will suffer.
But of course there are conflicting educations, aren't there?
Whatever they may. What is the wrong there? That if we sit down together and chant Hare Krishna mantra without any loss of our factory or work, but if there is some gain, why not try it?
A delightful idea, a beautiful idea, and a very simple sounding idea.
Yeah.
How about the Anglicans, the Roman Catholics, who are bound in the...
Roman Catholics, we don't say the Roman Catholics cannot perform yoga.
Who can?
We say that you chant the holy name of God. So Roman Catholics, they have God or not? No God.
Well, they think they do a lot of that on a Sunday morning.
And whatever it may be, any religious system means connection with God. Is it not?
Yeah, well, it's what it's supposed to be.
Without God, is there any religion?
No.
So we are asking, chant the holy name of God. So if you are Roman Catholic,
Any man's God.
any man's God. God is one. God cannot be two. So I am asking that you chant the holy name of God. If you have God, you chant the holy name of that God. I don't say that you chant the holy name of my God. You chant the holy name of your God. God is one, just like water. Somebody says water, somebody says pani, somebody says jal, but the aim is water. Similarly, God, I may say Krishna, he may say Jehovah, the Muslims may say Allah, or others may say something else, but the aim is God.
Well, why not be better off then? Because obviously, therefore, going on what you just said, there are a lot of people in Australia every day, perhaps certainly once every week, chanting the name of their God. Why then do we still have problems?
No problem.
Are there not enough people chanting to their God? Or to the one God?
Ultimately, you require sufficient supply of water to grow your food, vegetables, or even if you are animal eater, to maintain your animals, you require sufficient water. And that is recommended, that Jagnat Bhavati Puja. And the yoga is very simple, chanting the holy name of the Lord. So, why not introduce that every home, every factory, every community, every place, they should sit down at least for half an hour and chant the holy name.
Could I ask you very simply, if you suggest this, if we all do this,
Then
will that, for example, remove the problems that we do, that our society in any rate, at any case, generates for ourselves? We have more and more pollution. Depending on the way the wind blows, for example, we get at times choking pollution from the industrial complexes down to the south of this city.
then the next question will be,
Are these problems going to be...
the next question will be, if you get sufficient grain for eating, why should you take to industry?
To make money, very simply.
And what money? Money means you require the necessities of life. So,
but that's not what the multinational corporations that enjoy using Australia's resources are going to say.
more money means more sense enjoyment. More money means more sense enjoyment. This is called pravritti marga.
Well, maybe less enjoyment, but more possessions.
No, enjoyment in this way of life, more sense enjoyment, will never be able to enjoy our happiness. That is not possible. That is the nature. If you simply want to enjoy, you can enjoy. But you will create more miseries. So this is one way of life. That you enjoy your senses and create more miseries. This is one way of life. And if you want to decrease your miseries, then there is another life which is called simple life. Simple life means you produce your food and you produce your cloth. So you dress yourself nicely, you eat yourself nicely, keep yourself fit and glorify the Lord. This is one way of life. And the other way of life, that we don't care for the Lord, let us enjoy the senses to the topmost capacity and be happy. So this way of life will never make you happy. You simply go on struggling. This is one way of life. The another way of life, that the human life is meant for God realization. That is Vedanta philosophy. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Now, by evolutionary process, we have come to the human form of life. It is meant for asking, what is my constitutional position? Am I this body or am I something else? The dogs, he cannot put this in play. A dog, he thinks that he is dog, that's all. He's jumping, he's barking, and eating, sleeping, and having sex. That's all. If I ask one dog, please sit down, hear Bhagavad Gita, it is not possible. But you are a human being. If I ask you, Mr. Satan said, sit down, hear from the Bhagavad Gita, you can do that. First of all, you must know the difference between dog and me. The dog is incapable to understand Bhagavad Gita. But human being, just like we are selling this book in the Western countries, many millions of copies, because they are human beings. We are not selling among the cats and dogs.
No.
So, if a human being does not become inquisitive to understand what he is, in which way his progress should be made, then he remains a dog. The dog cannot do it. And we have got the capacity, if we neglect this facility and remain like a dog, simply engaged in eating, sleeping, sex and defense, then we remain dog. Then again we become dog. The opportunity was given to us to understand the problems of life, how to solve. If we don't take this opportunity, facility, if we simply remain like dog, then we are next life. That also they do not understand that there is next life. Do you believe in the next life? You as a person, do you believe in the next life?
No, I don't.
You do not?
No.
Yes, see. If you say, I don't believe in it.
Are you talking about reincarnation, life after death?
Yes. Reincarnation, you are already incarnated. Where is that childhood body? Where is that body?
Here it is. It's grown.
No.
It's grown.
No, it is changed.
It's grown. It's changed. It's evolved. I have evolved. Just the way, just like evolution, I have evolved to the situations.
Just try to understand. Anyway, that your boy's body or childhood body is no longer. Either you say change or grown, whatever you say, it doesn't matter.
But they're the same bones, it's the same skin.
But you are the same man, that's the fact. You understand that you are a child or you are a boy, a school boy, jumping. You remember that body. But that body is not existing. That's a fact.
I can't agree.
Why not? Suppose somebody had seen your childhood body and for many years he has not seen you, and all of a sudden comes, suppose your father's friend. So father to say is there, oh, you are the same. He is surprised because he saw you in a childhood body.
But I'm less interested in what someone is using.
First thing that you have changed your body. The other man says, oh, you have grown up. Or generally they take it as grown up. But the actual position in the body has changed.
But they're the same bones. They're the same bones. It's the same skin. My face looks
not it is
just
same.
About the same.
Medically, it is not the same.
Well, the functions are different, but it's the same heart that's beating.
Not the
same veins.
Just like in your childhood, when you were born, you had no sex impulse. Now you have got sex impulse. The body of a child, the body of a boy, they cannot understand sex life because the body is different. And now because you have a different body, you can feel what is sex life. So it is imperceptibly changing Therefore we think that it is growing. But it is changing. It is changing swiftly, just like in the cinema spool. The picture is changing. But because it is changing so swiftly, you are seeing that one man is moving. That is the fact. There are hundreds and thousands of pictures passed on when you see that this man is taking this street and bringing this here. This means there are many pictures. So similarly, it is like a spool. Your body is changing every moment. That is medical science.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. So changing. So you are changing your body. That's a fact. But because you are seeing all in one spool, you are thinking it is growing, it is moving. That's all. But it is changing. This is the science. So body is changing. And you remember that you are such and such body. Therefore, you are different from the body. This is the science. So unless we understand that I am not this body, I am different from the body, I am changing body, therefore I will have to change this body and accept another. This is the science, beginning of scientific knowledge. Without understanding this fact, his advancement of knowledge is simply for eating, sleeping, sex and defense. That's all. There is no advancement. According to Vedic literature, he remains animal. Saiva gokhar, jasathu buddhi kunapeti dhatuke sadhik palatra disu bhoma ijjati jatirtha buddhi sarirena parichi janesu avijnesu saiva gokhar. If we cannot understand ourselves, it is very simple. I have changed my body so many times. So naturally, when this body will be useless in this life, then I will have to accept it. This is the version of, you find out, Dehinasmin yatha dehe kaumana yoganam jara tatha dihantara prapti dhirasattvanamayyati.
As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change.
It's simple. But people have no education. That is the defect of modern thinkers. This is the fact that you are accepting every moment a different body. So after death, you will have to accept another body. Now, we should know what kind of body I am going to accept next. That is intelligence. That is civilization.
And do you mean that then will allow me, if I come to that realization, that will allow me to then continue to improve my mind, continue to study, to think, to gain knowledge?
Yes.
Beyond, say, the normal 65 or 70 years that I might live in what I imagine to be this body.
The knowledge should be acquired from the beginning of life, from child. But if by circumstances I could not get this knowledge from childhood, then we should begin immediately. Because unless we get this knowledge, our life remains imperfect. We remain animal. The animal does not know this. And after evolutionary process, coming to the human form of body, if we keep ourselves in the darkness of animal life, then this opportunity is lost. This is the first problem. Now, unfortunately, the modern education is leaders, they have no education, they are thinking just like animals, I am this body. Therefore you are thinking you are Australian, I am thinking I am Indian, he is thinking American, only on this bodily concept. But we are not this body. We are different from this body. So, unless we understand this point, our aim of life, our standard of civilization is incorrect.
I suppose it's very easy to understand and to credit that so many people will be thinking maybe this way, because that's part of the basis of being selfish. And after all, a lot of people, particularly I would imagine, a lot of Australians are basically selfish. They are interested far more in what they can get and do for themselves, not necessarily by working hard, by striving or by reading or by thinking or by studying. The old saying, the
human life is meant for acquiring knowledge, real knowledge.
But so many people don't see it that way.
At least one class of man must be thoroughly conversant, thoroughly aware of the things as they are. They are called Brahman. Therefore, society should be divided into 4 classes. The first class men who have got full knowledge of life and the problems of life, that they should be the first class men. They may be very few, it doesn't matter. Ideal class. People will learn by their behavior, by their character, by their knowledge. So, must be there. The next class would be the administrators. They would be advised by the first class man, and they would administer the state. And the third class man, they should produce food, enough food for the whole population. And the fourth class man would assist these 3 higher classes, first class, second class and third. This is the arrangement, nature's arrangement. There are first class men, there are second class men, there are third class men, there are fourth class men. But if you produce simply fourth class men, there cannot be any adjustment. It will be chaotic society. That is the present position. There is no first class man, there is no second class man, there may be some third class man and all fourth class men. This is the position. Therefore, the whole human society is in chaotic condition. Because...
But would you... Okay, the attainment of this first class, which if I understand you correctly, you're saying is very, very necessary for the removal. Yeah, sure. But you're saying that we don't have the first class of man. But
we create. By education you create.
Okay, how about then some of the ancient and maybe even now the latter day philosophers?
Just see.
The men of sobriety and gentleness, the Bertrand Russells, for example.
They have to be trained, just like you have been trained up as geographer. Similarly, a certain man can be trained up as first class man by education.
But trained by others or trained by themselves?
No.
Surely training by
an institution.
But training by oneself, such as, for example, an Albert Einstein or a Bertrand Russell.
You have become a geographer not by yourself.
Oh, yes, but we're not talking about me. I mean, I'm nowhere near what you're saying as is a first class. I'm talking about some of our latter-day philosophers. And Bertrand Russell is a person, for example, for gentleness, sobriety and thought, whom I admire very much. And he has attained that himself. He was certainly, as we all must be, surely trained to begin with. But then it's a process of individual thought.
Just like we have got different institutions. This is for educating engineers. This is for educated medical men. This is for educating geographer. As there are different departments.
Oh, sure, to begin with. There must.
Similarly, there must be a department to train first class men. That is required.
We don't have them in our universities.
So therefore it is chaotic. No first class man, or third class, fourth class.
What are the specifications for your first class man?
Yes, find out. Jnanam, vijnanam, astriktam. Jnanam, find out, jnanam.
Samodamas tapa socham kyantir ajavam evacha gyanam vigyanam astikyam brahma kama sambhavajam. Translation: peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, wisdom, knowledge, and religiousness. These are the qualities by which the Brahmanas work.
This is first class.
But once a man has strived for those qualities, how does he know when he's attained them? And
Sama means equilibrium of the mind. One should be trained up in such a way that he is not disturbed in his mind in any circumstance. That is called Sama. And Dhamma means controlling the senses. Naturally, I find one beautiful old man, I want to talk with him, and he is others' wife, but I should know, why should I talk with others' wife? It is Dhamma, controlling the senses. So, Sama means keeping the mind always equiposed, and Dhamma, the controlling the mind. So this is first class man. Sama, Dhamma, Titikha. Now, suppose I was not a first class man, I was a fourth class man. Now I want to become a first class man. So I was eating meat that these boys, the European American boys, they are eating everything. Now they have given up on my word, or to associate with me, they have given up meat eating, illicit sex, meat eating. So in the beginning, it may be disturbing because I am habituated to all these things, and by my spiritual master I am ordered not to do this. So it may be disturbing. But that is called titikha, tolerance. No, I have to do it. If I want to make progress to become first class man, this is order, so I must do it. Even the tolerance, even it is disturbing. In the beginning, it is not disturbing. In the beginning, because I am habituated to do something. Sama, Dhamma, Titikha, Arjava. Arjava means simple life. Simplicity. That if I can live in this way, why should I acquire so many things for artificial life? That is called Arjava. Sama, Dhamma, Titikha, Arjava. Then Jnana. Jnana means knowledge that I am not this body. I am spirit soul. Actually that is the fact. This body is not important. The living force within the body is important. That is Jnana. And the Vijnana. Vijnana means practical application of the knowledge. That is called Vijnana, science, scientific knowledge. That is. Jnana and Vijnana, Astikam. Astikam means to believe in the authority. That is called Astikam. Just like we are speaking about this Bhagavad Gita, it is spoken by the most supreme authority, Krishna, to believe in the authority. You also believe in authority. But ultimately, in this way, if we acquire this qualification, then you become first class man. So anyone can be trained up. Just like this boy, they are fourth class, fifth class, and now they are trained up to become first class. But just like anyone can become geographer, anyone can become engineer.
Do you think you'll make it?
We're making progress.
They are young men. They are all within 30s.
And your aim, all of you, is to become first class men? Does it matter how long it might take you? Can you become a first class man soon, within 5 years?
Oh yes.
Should
Sufficient. We can make in 1 year.
Really? I wish you were. Well, I hope I won't give you offence if I look at my watch and say that.
So unless you create at least a few percentage of the people, first class men, according to this standard, there cannot be any progress. This is my last word.
Thank you. I wish you all well, and maybe I should think along those lines myself.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great.
Excellent talking to you. Thank you very much. And I wish you well in Melbourne.
Yes.
And then in Hawaii.